was for everyone that always complains about me playing too close to the neck. Um, Big news flash: not everyone has to copy Earl, or the other guys from that era. You know, if everyone who plays banjo until the end of time just copies Earl, it will never go anywhere and it will die out. So, not everyone has to be interested in traditional bluegrass, even if they play the banjo. So, just newsflash. And yes, I'm bad at it. That's because I'm not really that interested in it and don't practice it at all. But anyway, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Music Dungeon with me, Mac Plays Banjo. Mac plays an out-of-tune banjo today. Should really tune it, but strings need to be changed, and you know how that is. Anyway, welcome back. It has been a little bit since our last video for sure, but I've been practicing decently much, not a crazy amount, not like 8 hours a day or anything, but a little bit, and feeling pretty motivated with it recently after a period of just kind of not being that interested in it. I was kind of more focused on other things than like improving at it, but that has changed. I am kind of back into the swing of things and I've been practicing decent amount, probably a couple hours a day, when I can find the time. And like the title of this video suggests, it's been like all that practice time has been on pretty much one song, and it's not like it's a really technically hard song or anything. It's Temperance Reel, and it's like, you know, I can play the melody of Temperance Reel fine without having to practice it for a month. But what I've been practicing is improvising on it, because pretty much all my practice is just practicing improvising, and will continue to be practicing improvising because that's kind of what I'm interested in right now. And you know, it's really not best to just practice one thing forever. I mean, like, I don't remember the last time when I just sat down and had like a technique session or timing, but you know, that's what I'm interested in, and those other things will be worked on kind of in the background while I'm working on it. You know, I'm not gonna sit down and like be okay, I'm gonna practice pentatonic scales until they're perfect. But you know, if I'm trying to play more pentatonics in it and I struggle with a position, then I'm gonna, you know, take a little bit of time to work out that position. So it's not like very structured, rigorous technique practice, but some does get in there, I suppose. But I've been feeling better with my improvisation than I have in a while, and I think, you know, it kind of goes off and on, because sometimes I'll have good solos, sometimes they'll just really suck, but that's how it goes. I feel like I've just like taken the first step towards the kind of improvisation I would like to be able to do, and the first step feels great. You know, I'm finally starting to like be a little bit more spontaneous, and I'm not stick to the melody as rigidly. I'm starting to like kind of feel the form of the piece rather, I should say, Temperance Reel better, and like kind of be able to go over the lines of the form, which I guess what that means is, like, you know, you take Temperance Reel, it has A part, B part, so it's like A, B, B, and you know, in the past, like, I'd play the melody and then embellish on it a little bit, probably in the second half of the A part or the B part, and then it'd just go right back to the melody for the second iteration of the A part or starting the B part. But now I'm starting to, like, you know, I can start out with improvisation, but then go into the melody in the second half, or I can improvise the whole thing. Not great, but I'm starting to, and I can even kind of go over the lines where I don't have to, like, you know, A part starts, end of A part, I stop the improvisational idea there and then start another improvisation on the A part. I can kind of like go over that where it's like one long one, and doesn't stop exactly at the end of the A part or whatever. So that's been good. And how I've been developing that is just like, I was talking to my teacher about it, Matthew Davis, amazing improviser, and he was like, I'm not sure what advice to give you, because how he says that he learned how to improvise well was just kind of like sitting down and kind of messing around with pieces. He was like, I don't know how to tell you how to just like sit down and mess around with it to get better at improvisation, but he kind of showed me his process, and that was really, really helpful for me. How he'll kind of find an idea and then deconstruct it and try and get it in a bunch of different iterations and then start introducing that into the improvisation. It's hard because I've been searching for a long time for like a singular method, or it's like you practice this thing, then this thing, then this thing, and then you can improvise. And I don't think that is how it really is. At least not for me. You know, I've tried a bunch of different things and it hasn't really worked out as well until now, where it's like, yeah, I'm just kind of messing around with the piece. And what does that look like? Well, so Temperance Reel, you know, fiddle tune-ish, sort of bluegrass Irish song, goes like... Forgive me, I haven't practiced today yet, so it's kind of rough. But the melody goes somewhat roughly like that. And I was like, you know, we were playing that, jamming together, and I was like, well, how do I start improvising on it, you know, instead of just kind of playing the same melody every time. I was thinking about it, you know, practicing, and I was like, okay, well, just sit and mess around with it. So the first thing I kind of did was learn the melody in a couple different ways, and it's not like different ways of phrasing the melody, it's all the same in that regard, but just like different places of playing the same statement of the melody on the neck. So like there's that melodic way that I just played, then I can play it like an octave higher, you know, starting like here. Just starting that where I can start here. Or here. And the B part I can play up here. That sort of thing. And I can play it all in single string down here. So having those different ways of playing it, and then I just kind of started mixing and matching with it. And what I really wanted to work on was single string, which is very difficult for me anyway. I think it's kind of like the hardest thing to get into if you just play banjo, you know, you don't play guitar and other things, because it's so, you know, you start out with Scruggs style usually when people are learning the banjo. And that's, you know, pretty, you learn to do that until it becomes intuitive, and then you start learning melodic style a lot of the time. And that's different from Scruggs style with the right and left hand, but it's similar enough where you can kind of transfer a lot of the Scruggs style skills over to melodic style. And single string doesn't really work like that, because the right hand is completely different and the left hand in particular is completely different. And my right hand for single string has gotten pretty good, I think. Not great, but it's gotten decent, where I'm not flubbing stuff all the time. My left hand is the issue here, because I'm so unused to moving it around like this. You know, I'm used to... Your left hand just isn't moving that fast. Even if you're playing super, super fast, your left hand isn't doing that much. And single string, or linear melodic, whatever, your left hand is moving so much faster, and I'm just not used to that yet. So I'm starting to get used to it, but my technique is not, it is not there yet. So trying to work on that, but just trying to, what I've been really trying to do is just like improvise over Temperance Reel largely in single string to get better at that, but then, you know, trying to throw in some other bits and pieces too when I can. So I'm just going to improvise over it real quick. We'll see how it is. It's probably going to be pretty bad. Let me just get a backing track here. Yeah, hopefully you can hear this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
kind of flubbed up there at the end and in between and at the start. But let me try another one a little bit faster. Let's do like 1:15.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, not great, but you know, I just feel like I'm kind of starting out with it, and really all that I'm using right now is like just the G diatonic scale, you know, G major scale, and the different modes of it around the neck, and I use this sort of thing a lot. That kind of exercise idea, and I really have no variety with my rhythm that I do with it. It's either like that sort of thing, or it's like that kind of thing. Cat cameo. She just walked in here. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of all I'm doing right now. So it's very, very simple. And what I'm trying to, you know, obviously I still need to work on that a lot, but I feel like that's going to get worked on just from me improvising hundreds and hundreds and thousands of breaks with those basic things. I'm really trying to start to get thirds in there. So like that sort of thing. And there's so many different ideas you can do with thirds, like kind of reversing the order of it. That sort of thing. Or this little idea I like. And like I'm trying to learn them in different positions and get them really, really down smoothly. Because just doing scales all the time gets very boring and repetitive, and thirds are really good to throw in there. And then obviously, you know, you want to learn your fourths and your fifths and all sixths and all this sort of thing too. But just starting with the scale and different permutations of the major scale, and then going into thirds, I think is a pretty logical progression. So get really comfortable with just major scale and pentatonic scale and that sort of thing, and then go into using thirds. So anyways, that's kind of what I've been working on. A little bit of a shorter video. Well, not really, I guess. I've been recording for a while, but I'm sure after editing it will be shorter. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've been working on, is just like improvising over that one song, which has been so much more helpful than anything else I've ever done with improvisation. Just like getting comfortable with the one song, improvising over it. And I'm not really that comfortable over it yet. There have been certain solos I've taken that I thought were really, really good for me, but most of them are just like, meh. The ones I played for you were not that good, in my opinion. But that's what the teach recommended, was getting comfortable with a certain song and then going on to the next song. And that is what Ryan Kavanaugh recommended to me, who I'm lucky enough to know and get some musical advice from. He was like, get really, really comfortable with certain songs, like become amazing at the A part of Blackberry Blossom, and then learn the B part, and then play that for like 10 years and then move on. What do you want? So anyway, doing that with Temperance Reel, I will keep you guys updated. Hopefully, I'm gonna get some videos of Matthew and I playing some songs together, and maybe post those here if he's okay with it. I'm very, very lucky to get him as a teacher, because he's a phenomenal player, and like one of my musical heroes for sure. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you know how to support the channel. The Patreon is up, and we've had a ton of new members. I don't even know how, because I haven't been posting videos, but I looked at it the other day and we had like 40 new members or something, which is kind of crazy. I am going to be posting a kind of improvisation worksheet on this song. It's going to be all the different ways of playing the melody that I showed, and then the different like things that I was improvising with, like this. Obviously, you can probably figure all that out for yourself if you are so inclined, but there will be a tab sheet on there if you're interested. So anyways, hope you enjoyed. I'll play another solo just to end out the video.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that's decent for me now. It will be better in the next video when I've worked on it. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.